Hey, it's Tuesday, January 7th. Welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus. It's great to have you here. We're brought to you, as always, by Ike Sandwiches. Today's live stream being powered by BetUS. So thanks to them, thanks to you, thanks to our good friends at the Dubliner and West Portal as well for sponsoring the show. And we got a lot to get into today, including the fact that we'll remind you once again that we do have a light out in the studio. So if I am a little more handsome than usual, that's because I'm dimly lit. And the dimmer I'm lit, the better I look, which is probably why Club Pluce has always been such a huge hit. We will slip into Club Pluce at the end of today's show. We got to get through some stuff, though, before we get there. Starting with the fact that the 49ers get absolutely no credit at all for making a decision that should have been made months ago. But they have finally seen the special teams light, and Brian Schneider was let go late Monday night down in Santa Clara. It happened just in time to have absolutely no effect on the season that we just watched at all. Not even the ceremonial firing to get your locker room's attention, not even a firing to replace an underperforming unit with a coach who then makes it a properly performing or even overperforming, dare I say, unit. When it comes to special teams, the 49ers have had a blind spot that dates back before Kyle Shanahan took the job. It's been bad in San Francisco, in Santa Clara, at Levi Stadium, at Candlestick. Special teams has never been the strong suit of the San Francisco 49ers, but it has been let go to an afterthought to the point where Brian Schneider really had to go. I mean, you have to choose to be this bad this long, or choose to not prioritize it as a front office for things to have fallen to the level in which special teams have fallen around the 49ers. So a firing should have happened before Halloween. Like, we know that, right? It didn't, though, but it happened on Monday night. Look, blocked punts, fake punts, giving up hybrid kickoff returns for touchdowns, Jake Moody being wrong all season long, the tackling, the return game. It was a disaster, the whole thing, all year long. Jake Moody was never right. The minute he hurt himself, he got cockeyed the rest of the way. I don't think he's going to be coming back. The 49ers haven't had a kick returned for a touchdown since 2018. This predates, well, I guess that is Kyle Shanahan, but this is just bad. They haven't had a punt kickoff for return since 2018. They hadn't had a punt return for a touchdown since 2011. Like, accidentally, you run into those once a decade, but not the Niners. So it's time for them to prioritize something that they have let slip to the level of, you're the worst in all of football, 32nd in special teams EPA. You cannot do worse than that. So hopefully the 49ers have seen the light and will get a little bit better there. We got Martin saying Kyle Shanahan is responsible for everything. He overlooks all the coaches that he's hired, and you are absolutely right about that, Martin. There is no doubt that this is Kyle's responsibility to get right. He gets all the praise and all the blame when things go right and wrong, and it is time for Shanahan to feel uncomfortable. It really is. And I know a lot of people are waiting to see Nick Sorensen's name as another coach let go. I don't think that that's going to happen. Like, to me, if you are letting guys go internally, that is a joint announcement. It's not like you go out of your way to fire Brian Schneider before you then let go of Nick Sorensen, right? It just, the 49ers really don't behave like that. So I think Sorensen is likely to reach his second season as 49ers defensive coordinator. Now, maybe something changes. If it's going to change soon, because, again, Black Monday was yesterday. Teams are already booking interviews, and who wants to talk with whom is being established all around football. So if you want to get in on anyone early, now's the time to have that interview and make that phone call to that agent. And it just doesn't look like the 49ers are going to do it unless something has happened since we've started going live today. I think Nick Sorensen's back. But when it comes to the roster, let's talk about who is and who isn't back. So I prepared an entire segment of who is and who isn't back, just looking only at the Week 18 depth chart. Just starting with the latest roster you can give me. Show me your last game. Let's talk about from this game who is and who isn't back. Let's talk about practice squad. Let's talk about guys who didn't play in this game who will and won't be back. It's a pretty interesting list. And it's going to leave, when it's all said and done, the 49ers with about a dozen-ish roster spots to fill in free agency and in this upcoming draft. And how they fill those spots will be the determination. If they do a good job, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, I think, are going to be around for a long time still. If they don't do a good job, and with the benefit of a last place schedule still come up short next year, everyone could be gone. So, if the best of Shanahan was only going to be revealed when he got painted into a corner, I would say that this season he has painted himself into a corner where a successful postseason run is the only acceptable outcome for the upcoming NFL season for the San Francisco 49ers, who will be along for that ride. Let's get into it right here and right now. Cheers. Cheers. It is good to have you here. Again, Steve, he was told the Niners can't afford him per Mrs. Ward. Dre Greenlaw is gone. Steve, you are, are you breaking news, or is this what you think? Please start your sentences with "I think" when it's something that just you think, because I think Dre Greenlaw is back, and you'll hear that in the roster as I share it with you here in just a second. We do want to let you know, though, that we are brought to you by BetUS. There's an awful lot still out there for you to be won in the world of sports. We got NFL playoffs. We got hockey underway. We got the NBA. We've got baseball coming soon, believe it or not. We got big college bowl games waiting for us at the end of this week. And when you go to BetUS, which now has a casino open, and we'll be telling you more about that in upcoming shows, use promo code YouTube150 over at BetUS for a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Look at me as a sandwich. Don't you want me? Yeah, baby. You want that. I don't know what you're doing for lunch today. Go to Ike's and get a Damon Bruce. I am absolutely delicious. The words aren't even needed for a picture that sexy, right? Not even needed. Just look at that. Do I have to tell you anything more? Look at that. You can get that today. All you got to do is spend money on it. And my God, it'll be delivered to your door if you live within an Ike's delivery range. Hopefully you live within distance of an Ike's and you can start experiencing how good of a sandwich he's got for you today. And oh, by the way, you sign up for that Love Rewards program. You get a free sandwich when you sign up. You get prizes with each and every purchase and a chance to be entered into a contest to go to New Orleans on Ike's dime. Flights, hotel, and tickets to the big game in February, all taken care of because Ike's is now opened in New Orleans, baby, and always open. Well, not always, but when you need the Dublin or West portal to be open, she's open. Take yourself on a Muni ride to the Dublin or West portal in San Francisco. Go on in, say hello to Kenny, say hello to John, tell him that Damon sent you, and you're going to get the best Guinness pull in the city of San Francisco. What a great bar. Great place to gather with friends. Great place to go watch that game that you care about. Get yourself to the Dublin or West portal. They are my guys. Again, Ike's, BetUS, Dubliner. Cheers. Thanks to everyone. Like and subscribe, my good friends, for all your Niner offseason news, Warriors news, Giants news, and we are going to start taking this channel beyond the Bay Area. Well, I'm not here to be some one-trick local yokel pony no more. We got a whole globe of sports to cover. Well, maybe not the globe. We'll just stick with our country for the most part. But it's great having you here. By the way, Joe, we stopped for Super Chats. I think I have to pick between Hufanga and Greenlaw, and I think they go with Greenlaw regardless of SM posts. P.S. Dubliner is amazing. It is, Joe. Thank you very much. I love the Dubliner. You know who else also loves a Dubliner? This guy, keeping us all safe right there. Smiley Dan loves the Dubliner. Oh, you know it. True Blue forever. We going global, worldwide. Frickin' put Pitbull over here. You are right. We don't care about soccer. Habes the babe. Football? No. I'm sorry. No football. Anthony, good morning to you. Love you too. Cheers, Anthony. Thank you so very, very much. Okay. So right when I was putting together this list, I checked my email to see that the 49ers have said that the following players who are all edge of the roster, practice squad, taxi squad guys are being re-signed for future contracts. Those guys are Jonathan Garvin, Sebastian Gutierrez, Taron Jackson, Zach Johnson, Chase Lucas, Jalen Mahoney, Tanner Mordecai, Drake Nugent, Tariq Owens, Mason Pline, and Trent Taylor are all coming back with deals to be practice squad. Let's see if you're on the roster type of guys. So some of these names get into my evaluation from just the last week, the Arizona game roster alone. That's what we started doing the future dissection from. So here we go. Let's walk right through the week 18 starting depth chart, talking about who's back, who isn't. Offensively, here's who's back. I guarantee it. Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, Isaac Guerrero, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, Dominic Pooney, McKivitz, Cowing, Conley, and I think Eric Saubert is back. Until you have somebody to play behind George Kittle, you need to have another tight end on the roster, not named Mason Pline, who they obviously don't trust yet, but he will be back. I have out Banks, Brendel, Zakel, Kyle Juszczyk, Josh Dobbs, Brandon Allen, Abinaconda, who we never even got to know. And I had Trent Taylor out, but he's coming back. And look, there's a chance that Deebo is out too, but I'm not betting on it. So you got 11 guys back with Purdy, Deebo, Guerrero, Jennings, Pearsall, Kittle, Pooney, McKivitz, Cowing, Conley, Saubert, I think coming back. Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, back and back. Jordan Mason, he's back. Brandon Ayuk, obviously back. Elijah Mitchell, I think, is gone. I think he's a cap casualty and has just been injured too much for them to reinvest in. Charlie Heck, Austin Pleasance, two late season offensive line call-ups who actually played pretty well in the short amount of time that they had out there on the field. Let's say one of those two guys is back. One of those two guys is coming back offensively. So right now, offensively, with Drake Nugent being back, there's 17, 18 guys from the offensive side of the ball that I think you can pretty much count on coming back. Let's go to the other side of the ball. Defensively, coming back, it's Bosa, Warner, Lenore. Those are your big three at your big three levels. Bosa, Warner, Lenore, Mustafa, Brown, Green, Winters, Graham, Gross Matos, Jordan Elliott, Malik Collins, Sam Aquinu, Evan Anderson, Kevin Givens, Tatum Bethune, and Curtis Robinson, who was on the IR all year long, but he was their, Walter Payton Man of the Year. They really like him. I think he's back. That's 17 guys coming back right there. Leonard Floyd. I think Leonard Floyd is coming back. I think he makes 18 guys coming back from that side of the ball. I'm going to ignore the fact he's 33 and just look at the 8.5 sacks that he gave the 49ers. Don't think they're walking away from him. Dre Greenlaw is a guy that I think is coming back. I think Darrell Luter Jr. is also coming back. So there's 20 guys right there from the defensive side of the ball that I think are coming back. Out, I'm sorry to say I got Talanoa Hufanga out. I think he's going to be a cap casualty, and I think what he gives them is a little bit of there's some redundance in what he gives them for the rookie price points that Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa are going to be giving him. So I think that as much as I would like to see a guy like Hufanga back, I think he's out. I think Javarius Ward is out. I think Robert Beal Jr. is out. They say that Drake Jackson is back. I don't know why. For me, he would be out. Flanagan Fowles would be out. Gibson out. Yadam out. Yasin out. So I've got, with all of my ins and outs, I got 37 guys that I think there is almost no ambiguity I think that there are 37 guys that you can circle and pen right now. This guy's coming back. And I've got two guys that a lot of people say could go the either way. I got Debo and Dre Greenlaw coming back, and I got Hufanga being a tough cut on his way out. So I got about 37, 38 guys back on the roster. That gives us about 15, 16 roster spots to play with. And again, I think Mason Pline, Tanner Mordecai, Ty McGill, pardon me, and Alex Barrett are all practice squad guys that they could go back to. So now we're down to about a dozen spots, right? Well, I'm going to say it's even less than that because I've got both Jake Moody and Mitch Wisnowski out. I was so unimpressed with special teams. I'm ready to just full flush the whole unit. Get me a new punter. Get me a cheap off the street punter. Get me a cheap off the street kicker. Just quit making special teams weird. I'm sorry. Mitch Wisnowski was a lot better than he was this year. Was he hurt? I don't care anymore. It's just a punter. That's got to be one of the easiest to replace spots on the entire team. God damn it. So just do that. So now you're down to like a dozen spots, 10, 11 spots, and that is going to be your free agency and your draft class. All of it's going to fit, no matter what they pay Brock Purdy. I promise you, they're going to get a good, talented roster around him. They will make these pieces fit together. That's Parag's job. That's what every NFL team is capable of doing, and the 49ers are more capable than most NFL teams are capable. So I think that all of the hand-wringing about, well, Brock is going to make so much money that you're not going to be able to afford to have a good team around him, like that is worrywart stuff. That is everyone thinking that they're a GM because they oversaw a draft on the game of Madden that they played a franchise through. Like, it just calm down. It'll fit. Trust me. When it comes to the draft, and again, we're not going to get into the draft today. Today was just about roster retention. Who's back, who's out, who's in, who's gone. Obviously, defensive tackle and edge are where I think the draft need to start for the 49ers. And as they are concentrating on the line of scrimmage, I think that they need to concentrate on the offensive line of scrimmage as well, too, especially with Banks and Brendel, as far as I'm concerned, being odd men out. You need another center. You need another guard. You need more than one guard if you actually we're all being honest. I think that they're going to certainly need another cornerback. And I need to see a wide receiver added to this team who can actually separate from NFL defenders in man coverage. The Niners don't want that. They need that. That has to happen. That player has to materialize one way or the other. And we all know that Kyle hates rookie wide receivers. So that is maybe where you spend your free agent money. On that, I can separate truly proven talent NFL wide receiver. I think that's where the free agent dollars get spent, and then the rest of it comes via draft. So there you go. I'll just say, if you want the list again, you can rewind the video. I'm not going to run it past you, but I think that there's easy to see 37-ish, 40-ish guys that are back. The other guys are all eminently upgradable and replaceable, or it's a time to move on, or in Hufanga's case, a tough cap decision that I think you're going to have to make one of them. Not everybody who's a tough cap decision can come on back. So there's going to be one of them, and I would rather say goodbye to Hufanga based on who remains on the team behind them than Dre Greenlaw, who I just think was not only, absent as a quality player, he was absent when it comes to representing the soul of the San Francisco's 49er defense. And that's why this was such a strange looking defense all year long. One of the reasons why you could not recognize it is because its DNA was not there. And Dre Greenlaw's DNA is the missing ingredient from the 49ers defense this past season. So get Devontae Adams, rocking New Era 84. We can have that conversation. Absolutely. There's going to be a price point where he's at an age now where I think you walk away, maybe. But, if I'm the Jets, I'm much more interested in bringing Davante Adams back than I am Aaron Rodgers into next season. So I don't even think Davante Adams is necessarily going to be available. Delbert does not like our people watching to likes established ratio. And now that I see it, and Delbert's kind of told on all of you, I don't really like it either. So please go ahead, lean into that like button. It won't cost you a dime. Thanks to all of our members. Thanks to everyone who's dropping super chats on the show today. Ricky Williams saying we should pull a Rams card and sell out for next season. We have a favorable schedule, and the big dance is at Levi's. Fuck them picks. Get it done. But you're going to need those picks. You cannot play the fuck them picks. What you need to do is hit them picks and then play them players and hope that they, with that last play schedule, and like you said, the Super Bowl being at Levi's, end up working in your favor. But thanks very much for the super, as always. Mike wants everyone to know he's already hit his like button. So, he's done his part. Yeah, can't play fuck them picks. No, the fuck them picks were the Trey Lance picks. Those are gone. These are the ones that you need to hit now. These are the ones that you need to hit. And again, getting back to that last place schedule, the 49ers 2025 opponents this year combined to go 120 up and 169 down. That is a 415 winning percentage. Oh, I mean, that's exactly what the 49ers are looking for. That is exactly. Hey, look, I love a good conversation. J.R. Workman says, trade Debo to Miami for Ty Hill. Why would Miami do that trade? Why would Mike McDaniel, who knows both players like the back of his hands because he's coached both players, why would Mike McDaniel make that trade? Come on. Hello, Danny. It is good to see you. Hope you had a good time at the Arizona game. I know that the 49ers did not. But let's talk about what next year looks like. Only 4 opponents reached the 10-win mark. Now, you'll see 2 of them twice because Rams and Seahawks both got the 10 wins. But Texans and Tampa Bay are also on the schedule. Not a single team on next year's schedule with 11 or more wins. You're topping out with teams that won 10, and 2 of them are in your own division. So your home opponents going into next year, it is a cushy home schedule with your regularly scheduled division opponents, obviously, plus Falcons, Panthers, Jaguars, Titans, and Bears. Bears coming back. Falcons, Panthers, Jaguars, Titans, Bears. You can't find a less sexy home schedule in the NFL. You're going to have the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals coming in. Okay, Rams and Seahawks mean something. Cardinals, if the right team shows up, can get to an interesting game, but that's never a high-priced, in-demand ticket. It's a shit home schedule for the 49ers next year. It really is. They need to take advantage of that. That is you went 7-1 at home, didn't you? Level home schedule. On the road, obviously, everyone in the NFC West, Saints, Bucks, Texans, Colts, Giants, and Browns. Winnable. I mean, like this is a you better be looking at 12 wins next year level schedule for the 49ers. It really is. I don't want to start putting the cart before the horse before we've seen the free agency or the draft or know who is having a good year next year or who got hurt here this year. There's a lot of moving parts, but just looking at who is on the dance card, this is the dance card that the 49ers needed to have a big, great long dance through. I mean, it really is. Now, will they be forced to be a hard knocks team? That will be interesting. And you know what? I've always said I hope it's avoided. I want hard knocks to come on and make everybody uncomfortable. Like Larry says, it's time to make the 49ers uncomfortable. Having all of those cameras around, I think, is going to get everybody dress. So make everybody uncomfortable. I'm fine with that. I hope Hard Knocks chooses the 49ers and tells Kyle and Jed and everyone involved who didn't want it, hey, you know what? If you don't want it, go to the playoffs. You didn't. We've been wanting to show your team to the public for a long time. We're going to. A lot of compelling, interesting characters. It makes sense. Niners, Hard Knocks, fuck it. Do it. Then the other question is, will the 49ers be selected to play an international game? And they're due for that one, too. And when you look at some of that road schedule, because I don't think that the 49ers are going to get a home game taken away from them in the same year that they're tuning up to host the Super Bowl. But those road teams, I don't think the Saints are going to, so here's the thing. The two best road games to go to next year, if you are a 49ers fan, Saints and Bucks, obviously. New Orleans is a great town. You can have fun in Tampa Bay. I'll tell you that the Colts game is going to be at a price point that means you can go live like a champ in Indianapolis and go to that game. It's a great stadium. The Colts suck. That'll be a good, easy walk-in price. The Texans, kind of an interesting game to go to. Again, very easy price points. Giants, that team and that stadium suck. So skip New York. If you're going to New York, the last thing you need to do is go to a Giants game. So don't do that. Go to New York. And you're not going to Cleveland. Even though, look, you can have a fun weekend in Cleveland. It depends. How about this? You won't want to go to Cleveland if that game is closer to the winter than it is the start of the season in the fall, because that is just shit weather. You don't want to do it. That's weather dependent. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to talk to Ike about maybe doing a Pluce Mania in New Orleans. If we all planned a trip to New Orleans together, how much fun would that be? I'm not saying we're covering expenses, but if we all, when we get that date, are able to circle it on the calendar, are you telling me that that wouldn't be one of the best and most fun trips we could ever go on together? Could you imagine us going on remote to New Orleans? Who's in for that? Who's in? Like, raise your hand. Who is in for a New Orleans trip? I've already been talking to Larry. By the way, we'll be back on Wednesday with Wake Up. I've already been talking to Larry about if the Niners are selected to go to an international game, we should go. That sounds like an awful lot of fun. Give me a game in London. Give me a game in Mexico City. Give me a game in Germany. I'm in. It sounds fun. And I'll write the whole thing off. Oh, we're already guessing that True Blue would earn the most beads. Is True Blue showing the boobs? Is he just showing his titties? That's how you get beads. If you want beads, you need titties. I've been to New Orleans enough to know that. Chef A, in. Imagine the eating we can do. Imagine just that food tour. San Bruno Mike raising his hands for New Orleans. Look at Chicago Jason. He's thumbs up in that bad boy. Delbert, yeah. True Blue, pondering, thinking. Otis just dropping a big whoa on that. You saying that something like that could happen? Yeah, I am. I'm saying something like that could happen. Let's get nuts. Diego Sanchez says next year's Niners are either going to be out there on an absolute warpath or fraud alert by mid-January. By the way, a game in Mexico City would be sick. I'm down. Yeah, I'd love to go to Mexico City too. I really would. It's supposed to be now like one of the single greatest food cities in all the world. So I would be down for Mexico City. Hell yeah. I'm also totally anything but London. London is incredible. I agree with you, though, Diego. I really do. I think that you're right. It is going to be next year's 49ers season will be a warpath and a year of reckoning, or it's the year where all the tires fall off and you really are firing Kyle Shanahan at the end of the year. Like there really is one of two directions available. At least that's the way it feels. Following Black Monday, we've got some NFL job openings right now, by the way. The Bears, the Jags, the Jets, the Patriots, and Saints are all looking for head coaches. And meanwhile, Bill Belichick is at the University of North Carolina. What? How did the NFL let that happen? How did those teams allow that to happen? Yeah, Bill Belichick, he's old, his winning percentage without Tom Brady, blah, 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 blah. If you think, look at it this way, if Bill Belichick's coaching resume is something that you want to pick apart to explain why he's the wrong hire, like, good luck with that. I think Bill's pretty bona fide as an NFL head coach. I can't believe that he's at North Carolina. Like, what the hell is that? Oh, how about this? Damon, best bar in New Orleans, Jewel of the South. Look it up. Well, I'm a huge fan of, what's the bar all the way at the end of Bourbon Street? It's the longest continuously opened bar in America. It's never closed. I love that place. I like the Carousel Bar in New Orleans. What I love is the bars in New Orleans, the least trendy, the least touristy bars are the best bars to go into. I freaking love New Orleans. Absolutely love New Orleans. Will Brian Griese be a head coach or an offensive coordinator next year? Steve, I don't know. I don't know. If I'm Griese, I would, either want to stay in the NFL as an offensive coordinator. I think I'd like a promotion from just QB coach. I think that should be available to him right where he sits in San Francisco. I'd like to see Brian Griese be named offensive coordinator, assistant, whatever. I'd like to have him have more say in what Kyle is doing. Kubiak is a guy that could be elevated to do that if Griese really is looking for more of an opportunity. There are NFL teams reaching out for interviews. Griese to Ann Arbor is always, I don't even need confirmation of that rumor. That's always going to be a rumor of Griese going to Ann Arbor. So we'll find out. We will find out. Crawfish etouffee and a Niners win? You're speaking my language. Give me a little gumbo. I'm not talking about fish dropping a gumbo. I'm talking about like real gumbo. Chicory in that Irish coffee. Irwin, again, you're sprechen Sie Deutsch, baby. You're speaking my language. Freaking love it. Give me a whole bunch of Albitas while I'm there. Love Albitas. It's a great local beer in New Orleans, although I go lots of cocktails in New Orleans. And the dueling piano bars for a hurricane. Freaking New Orleans is awesome. Seriously, I had to talk to Ike about this. I had to be like, what can we do? How can we make this happen? How can we make this happen? Oh, just an upvote on absinthe? There we go. I mean, come on. You just want to all go straight up Toulouse-Lautrec, cutting our own freaking ears off and shit? Yeah, let's do it. Or is that Van Gogh? Either way. Postman and Capitola, you are so right about Cochon. Cochon is incredible. It is one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. I love Cochon. I love Herb Saint, another great New Orleans, old school establishment. Herb Saint. Fantastic. One of the best bowl of jambalaya I think I've ever had in my life. Chef A knows what's up. Cochon is sick. It is so good. And their butcher shop right around the corner. Also, like Cochon sandwiches, incredible. All right, so look, start thinking about what you want to talk about in Club Pluce. We're going to get there in just a second, but we got a couple of other things to talk about before we get there, and then we'll get back into the chat. through Club Pluce. Big article this morning on ESPN.com about Steph Curry, how basically the team's plan is basically asking him to sort of do it all on his own, how he's the only real star in the NBA who doesn't have a serious second star running with him. All due respect to Draymond Green, who obviously is a very unique flower cast as this team's second star. Andrew Wiggins, he'll give you a star performance one night and then a totally soft performance the next. So he's really, not dependable. I don't think anyone is calling, Andrew Wiggins that second star. And everyone else on the Warriors is sort of game by game, right? So it's time through this article written by Tim Kuhn to just, it's time to do something, like make a trade, do something to prevent Steph from getting triple teamed over 90 feet of every single game that he's playing in. There's nobody in the NBA who has more defensive concentration on him by the possession than Steph Curry does. So look, we all know that Jimmy Butler is on the block. And I'll tell you this right now, I am not impressed at all with what I've seen from Jimmy Butler and the way that he's handled this Miami exit. It's been kind of ugly. It's been emo Jimmy, drama Jimmy. That to me is more of a turnoff than any aspect of how old he is. That brings us to Zion Williamson, who we all know lacks self-discipline and is forever hurt. But I'll tell you that tonight, Zion Williamson is going to strap it up and actually play in an NBA game. And it's going to be his first since the first week of November. Zion is back from his latest injury absence. He will play the T-Wolves tonight. And that's a game I'd like to watch a little of, just to see how Zion looks, since he's being rumored as a possible trade candidate to the Warriors. Let's see how he looks, how he moves. And I also want to watch Anthony Edwards, who has just been going bonkers. Like, I don't know if there's a player having a better week in the NBA than Anthony Edwards is. So T-Wolves, Pelicans, I have to league past that bad boy tonight. From this article about Steph Curry, some interesting things being written saying, he has always been the focus of everything around him, but never before as he is now on a flawed Warriors team that is contending within a paradox. They're determined to use Steph Curry less than ever at a time where they need him more than ever. How do you get Steph aging superstar rest when he's the only dude you can depend on any night to get anything done? That's a paradox. Curry in 16 seasons and into his 36th year on Earth, and they're still here. One generation is now seeping into the next. He's talking about all these young defenders who are looking at Steph Curry like a meal that if they eat it the right way, their reputation grows. There are young bucks coming for the old, 12-point deer in the forest. Steph Curry is being challenged by the new young generation of defenders. If I can do it against you tonight, Steph, boy, is my coach going to think differently of me. So he is getting the best, the toothiest, the youngest, the nastiest defenders thrown at him in waves of 1, 2, sometimes 3 guys. It's insane. It's insane. There's pressure from baseline to baseline. That's a given. With double teams routinely starting at half court from a bunch of guys either trying to make their name or keep it. It's fatiguing, but I love it, says Steph Curry. Says nobody else in the NBA, not Luka, not Kyrie, not Tatum, not LeBron, puts up with this much aggravation as Steph Curry faces. So, Warriors, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Steve Kerr is talking about how he likes the group and they're trying to figure it all out. And when you're saying that, you lose to the Kings at home by 30. So, it's time to do something different for sure. You're running out of tarmac. It's time to take off and become what you're going to be next. Because what you are right now screams, this shit ain't good enough. At least that's the way it looks to me. By the way, Mike Baker, don't see JJ Raider, so I'll step up to give 2 to the ganja jar. Thank you very much, Mike, doing your part. I appreciate it, Mike. JJ's not in here today. I don't think I've seen him either. Yeah, can Zion even play? Yeah, we'll find out starting tonight, right? Hey, Fuji Simeon. Always a pleasure to see you, man. Cheers, Fuji. Thank you so much. All right. Little today in history. Then we'll get into Club Pluce. But one more thing to tell you about at the risk of chasing everybody out of here. God forbid I talk about baseball, but here we go. Because the West Sacramento Athletics have actually made a move that's hard to argue with. They've extended Brett Rooker. Brett Rooker, 5 years, $60 million. It is the second largest extension in franchise history. Only Eric Chavez got a larger contract extension. And look, he deserves it. It's a smart deal that buys him out of 3 years worth of free agency. And after bouncing around, even though the A's can't find their home, Brett Rooker has found his home. He was just shy of hitting 300 with 40 home runs last year. Guy's an all-star. Rooker becomes the lone A's player under contract through what they keep on saying is their planned Las Vegas debut in 2028. Nobody believes you. I don't believe you. The chances of the A's playing opening day in West Sacramento in 2028 are so much greater than playing in Las Vegas. I would even say that the chances of them being tail tucked between their legs back in Oakland in 2028 is more likely than them being in Las Vegas. I don't believe them. I know that Dave Cavill has been fired. I still don't think that helps get anything done. What an empty suit Dave was. But there you go. Good for Brett Rooker. One of the only things that's going right with the A's remains with the A's. So, hooray. All right. It's time for Today in History. And then, you know what? I'm even going to include it in the podcast. You want Club Pluce? You're getting a Club Pluce tonight. I've had too many people talking about it. JJ Rader's usually the guy asking the most about it. It's a shame he's not here today. Today in history, we'll start with a couple of birthdays. Happy birthday to two people that I think are universally liked. I don't know anybody who's ever been like, I don't like that guy. I don't like that gal. We'll start with the guy, Nick Cage. Happy birthday. 61 years old. Nicolas Cage. One of the more interesting human beings working in Hollywood today. Nicolas Cage. I've always liked Nicolas Cage. 61 years old. Combination of over actor, really good actor, dramatic actor, total fool, picks good movies, picks horrible movies. He's got art that he wants to create. He's got debts that he needs to pay. You never know what you're getting from Nick Cage. Happy 68th birthday to Katie Couric. Everyone loved Katie Couric. Everyone trusted Katie Couric. This was back when we would watch the news and sort of like who we were getting our news from. I know it's hard to believe, but that was a time that existed. Katie Couric, 68 years old. Do you know that she was the first solo female anchor at any network? Happy birthday, Katie Couric. Today, in 1963, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa was exhibited in the United States for the very first time ever. It was hung in the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. For how long? I don't know. I'll say this. The Mona Lisa is equal parts one of the most impressive things you'll see, and no doubt about it, one of the least impressive things you will ever see in your life. It is the biggest, what's the big deal picture hanging in the museum. It is, Jillian and I are in Paris. We're at the Louvre, and you're walking around the Louvre, and there are, paintings the size of IMAX movie screens. There are paintings the size of garage doors. There are remarkable works of art everywhere you look. And then you come into a room where there are hundreds, if not thousands of people all gathered round something that, in comparison to the other works of art being hung in the Louvre, is the size of a postage stamp. And everybody's jostling for position to look at the Mona Lisa. We all know exactly what she looks like, but I guess you've never really seen it until you've really seen it. But believe me, you have seen the Mona Lisa. It's no big whoop. It's the biggest. Okay, now what? There she is. It's okay. It's, look, am I the right person to give art history lessons or be art aficionado? No, I'm not. But I'm going to tell you right now, the Mona Lisa is the biggest, okay, I've looked at it for 10 seconds. What else are we going to do? Let's go to lunch. You're there, you see it, you're like, wow. It's no big whoop. It really isn't. It's no big whoop. Anyways, congratulations to the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., who had its slice of Mona today in 1963. Today, in 1979, Vietnamese forces took control of Cambodia, ousting the Khmer Rouge and its leader, Pol Pot. If you're ever looking for a really lighthearted, fun rom-com, check out The Killing Fields. Oh, Jesus. Don't watch The Killing Fields if you'd rather watch a rom-com. The Killing Fields is one of the most oh, fuck movies you'll see. There's nothing quite like Cambodian genocide. It doesn't make for an entertaining movie, but you learn things. The Killing Fields. Pol Pot. Bad guy. I don't know what kind of guy he was, but what a great name he had. Happy what would have been 225th birthday to former President Millard Fillmore. The 13th president of the United States was born today in 1800. Again, he would have been 225 years old. Not a lot of people get to 225, and Millard didn't get there. Has there been a Millard since? I mean, Fillmore is great. Fillmore is a great last name. Fillmore is fantastic. Like when I'm playing like a college game or I got to make a roster spot, I will use the last name Fillmore. I think it looks good. I love the Fillmore. I love going to the Fillmore. Fillmore is a good name. Millard. You don't meet a lot of Millards anymore. I'm going to go out on a step here and suggest that you've never met a Millard in your life. I know I haven't. I'm at 0 Millards. Maybe it's time to bring Millard back. Why was Millard retired? I know why the name Adolf was retired. It was Adolf Hitler, Adolf Rupp, and since that moment in time, no Adolfs. Rightfully so. Because one guy was a cheating, dirty liar, and the other guy was Adolf Hitler. Oh, sorry, I just can't help but tell my Kentucky jokes. I got Kentucky jokes for days. Finally, it's not necessarily today, but it's attributed to this month. And we're going to go way back in this one, way back to 1610, where Italian astronomer Galileo made an earth-shaking discovery that there was not one, there was not two, not three, no, but four. I sound like LeBron going to Miami. Not one, not two, not three, not four. 4 moons around Jupiter. This blew people's minds. What do you mean 4 moons? I thought planets only got 1 moon. We only get 1 moon. How does Jupiter get 4? Can you name any of Jupiter's 4 moons? I remember I was hosting for Gary Radnich on KNBR many, many years ago, and I was doing the Tony Bruno segment, and I don't know how it came up, but Jupiter's moons came up, and I dropped a Ganymede. a gamma mead on Tony Bruno. He was like, "Oh, that's great gamma mead knowledge, Damon." Gamma mead, low Europa, gamma mead, and Callisto are your 4 moons of Jupiter. Low, like Lorenzo Neal, Europa, Ganymede, and Cassil. What is yeah, it's Callisto. Callisto sounds like a type of music. Like, I love Callisto music. If we all go to New Orleans, I'm sure we'll get to hear a lot of Callisto music together. All right, so I'm not going to go ahead and detach Club Pluce from the podcast. If you're just listening on the podcast, you get to come along to Club Pluce today for the first time ever. Here we go. Are you ready? It's about to get sexy in here if you're watching on the video. Oh, my God, where's America's squeakiest disco ball? It's been weeks since we plugged in America's squeakiest disco ball. I wonder if it even still works. Oh, it does. All right. Welcome to Club Pluce. It has been way too long. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Oh, Club Pluce getting it done with our good friends at BetUS. Go ahead and use promo code YouTube150 right now, 150% sign-up bonus. We also are going to be telling you about the casino, which comes with a 200% bonus, but I forgot to download the placard. That'll be on tomorrow's show, I promise you. Go to Ike's, sign up for that Love Rewards program. You get a free sandwich when you sign up and a chance to go to New Orleans. Hotel, flight, airfare, you and a friend at a very big football game played at the Superdome on Ike's tab. And speaking of tabs, pay your tab at the Dubliner West Portal. Don't just run your tab, pay your tab. Kenny and John will take great care of you. Go get the best Guinness in San Francisco at the Dubliner West Portal and have Muni drop you off and pick you up, baby. All right. Let's see. We're through the supers. We go back to the chat. What do we got? Damon, Joji says, Parkway Bakery for the best po' boy. Joji, I've been there. I love it. I love the Parkway Bakery. I've had that po' boy. As a matter of fact, I was in such fat boy mode when I walked in there. I got 2 po' boys. I got the roast beef po' boy, and I got the shrimp po' boy. Ordered each small sandwich. It was gargantuan. I gave half of that sandwich away, of each sandwich. Let's see. Steve says, Steve does not want to play Kuminga with Steph, it seems. Well, now you can't play Kuminga because he's got that rolled ankle. So if that's what you want, that's what you got. We don't want Jimmy Butler. I got to tell you, it must be trouble. There's a lot of me that doesn't want Jimmy Butler at this point in time either. But I think I'd rather have Jimmy Butler than another case of, yeah, let's keep on doing this for a month. My man Anthony Licked Scorpion comes in. Damon. Are the names of the 4 moons. Don't let Damon moon you next. Yeah, you don't want me to moon you. That's a lot of... I'm not saying my ass is big, but if I take it out of my pants, it could affect the tides. So we'll spare you any mooning. Oh, did you like History Time, Chef A? I hope you did. Tell me, Chef A, have you ever met a Millard? I bet you haven't. Yeah, the West Sacramento A's. That's what they're going to be called. I don't care what they want to call them. So they don't even want to claim West Sacramento. Doesn't matter. It's yours now. You break it, you bought it. Hey, Otis Bird says some A's players and Mark Kotze were at the Kings game last night. Like, by free will and choice, or were they forced to be there? No, I'm just kidding. I'd go to a Kings game. Zion is the new Oliver Miller. Erwin, I mean, look, not that Oliver Miller could play like Zion, but unavailable? Yeah, yes. Must Be Trouble says Rooker is 30. Nobody else wanted him at that price. The fact that the A's wanted him at that price is a freaking amazing thing. But basically, the A's are spending money like they've been told by the union. We're going to file a grievance against you if you don't start spending a reasonable amount of money on your baseball team. So good. And I'll take Rooker right now on the Giants, and he'll be the best player on the Giants. 510 says, I needed the Club Pluce on a Sunday. Sorry, the club's closed on a Sunday. Sporticus says, hey, baseball talk anytime will keep me here longer, not chase me away, as you know. Sporticus, again, we're from a generation that doesn't quite think like that anymore. What? Why is Dave Kaval gone? Fisher probably lied to Kaval, didn't give him his bonus after getting the A's out of Oakland. Look, I don't know why Dave retired, got fired. I don't care. I don't care. The only thing I know is that whenever Dave Kaval was moving his lips, there was a lie coming out of it. Q Jacinto says, if you could go back in time, were you don't what I'm saying? What if you could go back in time? Where are you going? Like and subscribe, or you're a Yahoo. Well, thank you very, very much. Like and subscribe, everyone, or you're a Yahoo. No one wants to be a Yahoo. And if I could go back in time, where am I going? Man, where would I want to go? Like, here's the thing. So there's a few places I'd like to go without consequences. I would have loved to have been standing on the wall of the city of Troy as the Greeks and Achilles and Agamemnon and Odysseus like all showed up to storm Troy. I would have liked to have seen that battle. That would have been interesting. I would have loved to have been at the Olympics where Jesse Owens just put it on all them white German boys and made Adolf decide, yeah, I'm going to have to go to war with the entire world. That's how much that black man just upset me because he just kicked our white Aryan race. I would have loved to have seen that. I would have loved to have seen 4 at-bats from Babe Ruth with my own 2 eyes. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's a great question. You go back in time, what are you doing? When it comes to Mona Lisa jokes, Chef A wins the day. At least you could say she was well hung. Yeah, absolutely. She was very well hung up on that wall. And she's behind several inches, well hung, of glass. So it's not like you can throw anything at the Mona Lisa. Wasn't a protester who threw like a balloon full of paint at the Mona Lisa? All you're going to do is, when you go to the U.S. archives, you don't actually get to touch the Constitution. It's behind like bulletproof level glass, and so's the Mona Lisa. Nobody spazzes out like Nick Cage. He is really good. When Nick does that, like the spaz, it's good. Yeah, Erwin, you are right. The Louvre is overwhelming. There's an awful lot of Louvre there. I go through the Louvre like Chevy and the Griswolds in European Vacation. Like you could spend a month in the Louvre unless you go on the Damon Bruce tour, in which case I can get you in and out of the Louvre in like an hour 45. I can get you out of the Louvre in under 2 hours and you will feel like, hey, I got a lot of Louvre there. Speaking of a lot of Louvre, how's Puff Daddy doing? Oh, no, excuse me. That was lube. That was a lot of lube. Pardon me. Look at Christopher just saying, Damon, art is subjective. So is YouTube. Notorious Ole Oles, your Nostrole Ole Ole. The Cher painting. Yeah, that's basically it. It's a little Cherish. It's a little Cherish. Oh, Bad Lieutenant. There's a movie from New Orleans. Absolutely. Yeah, Steve, I saw the Killing Fields. It affected me. Yeah, the Killing Fields affects, I think, everyone that sees it. That's I think that's the point. But yeah, that is not what I would call fun. Shout out to the Fillmore. Oh, we're at the Millard Fillmore part of it. Yes, shout out Fillmore. Shout out Filmo Mike. I love Filmo Mike. Fillmore Jazz Festival. Absolutely. That's one of my favorite street parties in San Francisco. We got Galileo fans in here. Four moons. That's an awful lot of cheeks. That's right, San Bruno Mike. An awful lot of cheeks. That we got Buffs suck. Damon still hasn't gotten enough super chats to buy a light bulb after the liquor store and his vacation deposit. Please, people, super chat now. Well, here's the thing. It's more than just a light bulb. Like, it's an actual standing LED light. Like, this is something that is like an actual, like, you want it in studio light. It's coming. We're working on it. It's going to take a day or two. I like to move it. Sexy time, Michelle. Michelle's not happy with her Oregon Ducks, by the way. They got to put on them hard in the Rose Bowl. I didn't think they were going to go down like that. Buffs sucks says again, Damon fluffing hairdressers, stylist employment is his only chance to get Fox Sports an indecent proposal job. I'm going to tell you right now, you treat your hairstylist, your makeup artist with the utmost respect. Good God. Come on, Fox Sports. Why are you making it rough? Oh, because you're all kind of scumbaggy. Seriously, I know enough people at Fox Sports to tell you that all these rumors, everything you see in these lawsuits that are coming out around Skip Bayless and Joy Taylor, I know enough people who worked at Fox directly with these people who have been telling me in a whisper campaign for years that there was an awful lot of backroom fucking at Fox Sports, and it is all coming to light now. Fuji Simeon says, hey, the next upcoming Super Bowl 60s at Levi's. And if you want to get to your seat on time, you should probably leave now to get to that game because traffic can be really bad on the peninsula. Club Pluce never close. People are happy. We got Rob coming on in. Thank you very much for the $6 super chat, Rob. Do appreciate it. Put that right in the ganja jar. MLBPA is going to try to force small market teams to spend in the CBA, and the owners may push for a salary cap. Get ready. Look, they'll never get a salary cap in baseball. The union's never going to allow that. But what the union does want is a salary floor, meaning you got to spend X amount of dollars or you get like relegated to a minor league ballpark in West Sacramento. You got to have a level of competition that reminds people everyone is playing in the same sport. You know, you can't have a team spending less money than the Dodgers pay for just shoelaces for their Japanese stars. You know, the Dodgers spend more money on cleats and shoelaces than the A's have spent on trying to win Major League Baseball games. What else we got going on here? What else we got? Galileo Figaro, Magnifico, ha, 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 da, ba, da, mamma mia. Thank you very much for watching. There you go. I mean, that's a show. We took you to the club. We brought you in. Bruce, Niner, 49er, Red Zone. Good to see you. Thank you very, very much. Great to see you guys. Shogun won several Golden Globes. Joe G. Konnichiwa, as always. Yeah, Shogun was a great show. I told you about Shogun. Watch it. It was fantastic. We also got, what else happened? Demi Moore won Best Actress for that that movie that she's in. A buddy of mine who really recommended me that movie. He's like, I told you it was good. Look at Demi Moore just won the Golden Globes. So, yeah, I didn't watch any of the Golden Globes. I don't know who won what. But there you go. Damon, who's your favorite player for us to draft at 11? Oh, come on. Jeff, I'm going with best available. We will do any and all who the Niners should draft when they draft. It's just, we'll get there. We don't need to do that show today, especially since we are at the end of this show today. Thank you so much for being part of this show today. Thanks to all the supers. Thanks to the likes. Thanks to the subs. Thanks for watching. Means an awful lot. We'll be back with Wake Up. Yours truly, Larry Krueger, co-streaming on our channels at 9 a.m. Cyrus coming by for a Warriors chat at 11 tomorrow. Thanks to everyone. Our sip of the day is over and done with. Yeah, Shogun. Thanks, Damon. Yeah, it is. I'm telling you. Wasn't it a great show? Great show. Great show. Thanks to all of you for being a part of what I hope was a great show, informative, who's in, who's out when it comes to the Niners and all that good stuff. I want to say thank you very much for watching. Thanks for listening on the podcast. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.